Welcome back to Good Day Chicago, 7:45 on this Thursday morning. The city of Harvey this week is trying to make up for years of coming up short for rape victims. The city settling several lawsuits related to the mishandling of sexual assault investigations. Police are accused of failing to take basic reports, submit rape kit evidence, and arrest suspects. Joining me now is the lawyer for some of the victims in these cases, Yao Dinizulu. Yao, thanks for being in here this morning.
Thank you for having me, Melly.
I want to start with these cases and the settlement, basically. Do your clients feel vindicated? Do they feel justice has been served?
Absolutely, they feel vindicated, but obviously they were sexually assaulted, and so there's other closure issues that they still have to deal with.
Right.
But what they take away from this case and this settlement is the fact that there's going to be changes in the city of Harvey as far as the training of their officers and the proper protocols necessary to move forward.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because part of the settlement, like you just mentioned, Harvey will now be required to increase police officer training on how to handle rape cases. So is that enough in your eyes?
Well, it's a major start. As far as, because when you look at these cases across the country, what you see is that the number one problem is the lack of training, the lack of understanding, the lack of understanding of how to approach the rape victims, how to assess the crime scenes, what witnesses they should be evaluating, and understanding that there's this myth that sexual assault victims lie more so than other victims. And so there's a bias that's in the culture in how we look at rape victims.
So interesting, because you know how even how a crime scene is processed, the technicalities involved potentially in a rape case are astronomical, more so than any other case. This is not a problem that's strictly in Harvey, right? I mean, this is a problem across our country. We see cities across the country with hundreds, if not thousands, of rape kits that go untested. What is the problem institutionally? What needs to change?
Well, it's that bias. We had a defendant expert witness in this case identify that there is a pervasive culture in law enforcement that under-recognizes these sexual assault claims. And so if
what do you mean by under-recognizes these claims?
Well, because they don't have any training whatsoever in many cases, they're not properly interviewing all of the witnesses. So for example, people are not testing these rape kits, and it's not just to corroborate whether or not there was assault there, but to corroborate the testimony of the witness. So for example, if the witness said, well, he bit me on my neck, if you're taking DNA evidence from there, it can corroborate one person's story versus the other. So officers haven't been trained on how that testing, how that evaluation is supporting one way or the other one of the people's stories. So
you think this goes back to training on all levels across the country?
It goes all back to training, but there's also some changes that we need to look at with respect to our laws.
What is that?
Well, number one, if you look at when you have these victims, the defendants, when they're charged with something, they have certain rights. The victims are not giving rights to an interest in their property, and that property would be the rape kits, right? And so that to ensure that officers across the country are valuing these rape kits and what needs to be done with them, and if not, allowing the victims to have some control over these rape kits and push them forward. And without some type of evidentiary component to those rape kits, then they're not able to push that forward.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in today. So interesting, and something that is often under discussed because it is such a taboo topic. So thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Melody.
All right, time is now 7:48. Let's head over to Mark Strahl right now. He's